Welcome to Toffee TV. It is the final word. We are all happy. I mean, I don't know why you're doing a full Bruce Forsyth there. I don't know. Let's go dancing.
Make prizes.
Let's go dancing.
Right. See Everton to see you nice. Yeah, it's one of those, isn't it?
Oh, I feel like Tess Daly now.
Don't look like it.
No,
Well, that's for the best. Not familiar. Yeah, 3 points. We can be happy, and we're so happy that we've got a special offer for you people out there. The Athletic have allowed us to host an exclusive flash sale that only is available to our audience. To celebrate our ongoing partnership with The Athletic, we're bringing an exclusive sale for our subscribers, Baz. There you go. For a limited time only, you can get 60% off the yearly subscription to The Athletic. The offer is available this week and this week only. Go to www.theathletic.co.uk/TTV60 or click the link in the description to sign off. The 60% offer equates to $1.99 per month, £24 for the year. The offer is 60% off, but with no 30-day free trial. Let me just stress that. So there you go. That's what we're giving you because we've won, and The Athletic is boss. It's got Paddy on it, who's brilliant. It's got Greg O'Keefe, who's all right. And
Greg
Sam. When Greg comes in, he'll be boss as well. There you go. There you go. Let's talk about 3 points. Winning a game of football, how good does that feel,
From
Andy?
a fan perspective, excellent. Finally, excited to watch a game, and you watch it and go, "Oh, this is never." I don't know. I found myself really gripped with the game, really invested in it. I wasn't like. So it was exciting, and it was actually an exciting game. It wasn't that we just won in a professional performance. It was actually exciting on the front.
Isn't it funny when people run round and try?
Yeah.
You can, as a fan, you feel invested in those players and the manager. Isn't that strange?
Do you know what,
Get all your tactics, put them in a box, and throw them out the window. If players run round,
over there.
if players run round and show a little bit of effort, it doesn't half make a difference.
But also, the team selection got everyone excited, I think. I think when people saw it, thought, okay. And you said, for the fans, by the fans.
Can we stop all this nonsense as well, right? I did put that on Twitter, right? And then it's like, no one wanted Walcott. Why do people have to find faults?
Question mark, though,
no, but why do they have to find faults with every little thing? Why can't you just go, you know what? Fair play. He's made changes, and we'll go from there. We'll see what happens. He did what people asked him to do. I mean, he'll say he did it because he wanted to do it, but people wanted to see Iwobi in a central position. People wanted to see some people wanted to see Tom Davis in the side. People wanted to see, obviously, Bernard back in the side. Some people wanted Richarlison up front. A byproduct of that was Theo Walcott playing on the right, which, who else would you have started on the right? Moise Keane, maybe? But really,
Richarlison would have been on the right in the Moise Keane centre. But at the end of the day, though, and the start of the week, the reason that I think he went with Walcott is he does get close to the striker, and he does add another element, and he works hard as well. With Sidibe being in the team, he picked someone experienced in front of him, someone who cover for him, someone who's been positionally smart in a way for a long time. So it worked in that sense. Sidibe does press high, crazily so at times, and Walcott slotted in for him, which is exactly what we needed. And at the end of the day, Theo got his powers back from the Monstars, and he was ready to play. He was great. Space Jam reference for you kids.
I mean, it's so on, but it is. It's on brand for us.
Yeah. Only the second Saturday we've won since March. And one of them was against West Ham. Since last time we beat West Ham, so...
Very similar performance last season against West Ham. We pressed them really hard, frenetic. They couldn't get out of their own half, and they didn't have anything. And they've got weak-minded players, and they play weak-minded. They don't play well under pressure. You put them under pressure. Their defence don't like being under pressure either. No. They wilt. And that's what we did, and that's why we won the game, because we created lots of chances. There was lots of movements off the ball. We pressed them. When we lost the ball, we jumped into the counter press, Gagan pressing, and that's what we did. And I think that's why we won the game. And I think the front foot is where we need to stay. And we don't need to go back to trying to control games, because we don't create enough chances to win games when we control it. Just play on the front foot. Yeah, it's a bit risky, but let's see how long we can go. And then you adjust if it doesn't work.
I mean, he made, 5 changes?
One was enforced, wasn't it?
Well, 2 were probably enforced, weren't they? No Delph and no Schneiderlin, which was good for our perspective. No, well, it was, wasn't it? Because and obviously Seamus Coleman was suspended. But the key decisions were obviously Richarlison as the 9. you know, through the middle, and obviously dropping Gylfi Sigurdsson for Alex Iwobi. That was a big decision for him, because Sigurdsson has been someone who he's hung his hat on in terms of getting them goals last season. But he's been poor this season, Gylfi. Let's not dress it up. And that was the decision that we all would have taken, was to take him out the team. It doesn't mean that's it, put him in the bin, he's gone, wasted. Just because players are out the team doesn't mean that they're done and that's the end of them. It's about him knuckling down
and applying himself and adapting, really, and trying to show he's available for different roles, because if you watch the game, the difference between Iwobi and Sigurdsson's quite marked. Don't be wrong, Sigurdsson's a wonderful technical player. He doesn't move anywhere off the ball. And how many times did Iwobi touch the ball? And, he had 18 out of 20 passes in the final third. That was the highest number we've had in the final. I think it's the second highest number this season of any player in the final third. So it just shows, and in between the lines, everything went through him. Davis had someone to pass through consistently, got us up the pitch quickly. And Iwobi wants on the half-turn, he wants to get the ball and run with it. He doesn't want to turn and pass it off and then get in another position. He wants to run with the ball, and that was the difference, because we were always so high. And Richarlison helped with that as well. But he wants to go back and check. We did a video on Richarlison at 9 in the summer, didn't we?
We did, yeah.
I think he can play there. I wouldn't play him there maybe every day of the season, but certainly in certain games, and if we went to a 4-3-3, I certainly think he could play there. But I think that they were the differences, having that movement, having Bernard and Dean back together. Walcott made a lot of difference because it was hard work off the ball, and on the ball he was better than expected. Don't be wrong, crossing still wasn't great, but I'll take the rough and the smooth. He was very good.
What I liked about the front three was the fluidity of them, and there was times when Theo was in central position and Richarlison dropped out to the right and stuff, and the midfield almost mirrored that as well. They were all over it, and that, I don't know about you two, but in the ground, you were sort of into the game immediately. But as a fan, you were, because you responded to what you were seeing, and I felt the crowd respond to
hard work, and the fact that we were always respond to that frenetic. We talked about it before. Where the commitments straight away, commitments, and the fans stand up to that.
Engages the fans.
It's the basis of any football team. It doesn't matter where they play. You see how hard we've watched Man City and seen how hard they work off the ball. We've watched the other crowd and watched how hard we watched the best team of all time. Certainly, I think the Barcelona side between 08 and 2012. And how hard they work off the ball and people make them runs. Or
said he hardly received the ball. He's just a run to space.
That doesn't happen if people aren't working hard and they're not working hard in training. And you watch that on Saturday, and for as many, you take Iwobi, if you isolated what you could probably find a lot of faults with this game. The amount of time, no, but he lost the ball quite a lot of times. But it's in the higher up the pitch, and it's all for the good of
risk and reward.
And it's you do that further back, and you do that when the game's slow. They'll pinch the ball off you in an air away. I think we pressed so much and we pressed high, and the way everyone's attitude was, Richarlison up front showed that. The players in midfield showed that. Theo Walcott, showed that. Sidibe wanting to get forward. Everyone had their head on this game. And it was the clear objective was, forget all about your tactics, which of course would be part of the game, but the fundamental thing first had to be that everyone had to be on it. Everyone had to be on the same page to beat West Ham, and that's ultimately what they did. And that's where fans were happy. They were happy to respond to that.
That's a fundamental principle of Everton, isn't it, really, is hard work and commitment. That fans have always responded at Goodison Park to people chasing balls down, harrying people, making people make mistakes, tackles. That's just a fundamental principle of getting the fans into the game. So, yeah, that's what we did.
But it's a basic of football, obviously.
I agree it is, but
it's what I mean is you can't have anything else without that.
That's
Otherwise,
a base principle.
Everything else is built on sand. Then you can forget about your zonal marking, or your three-man runs or whatever. Forget about all that. If you don't have that base level that everything's built on of hard work, then nothing above it will matter. And I think that's where we have to now start again from the bottom and build our way up. And you can have all those other things, all those other things that make a good side. They don't come unless you've got that hard work.
Well, they can be there. It doesn't work because you'll get undone.
Yeah.
You'll get undone at some stage. Those details like tactic stuff and zonal, they're finer details, and sometimes they are the difference between the victory and the not the victory.
Aren't they, yeah.
But if you're not committed and you're not competing at the same level, and you're not making the other team uncomfortable by your hard work. You know, how many times have Man City forced teams into errors, and they've got the goal and then gone on from the Liverpool do it. You know, all the best. Everton in the 80s were, you know, gegenpressing, you just mentioned there. Everton were doing that in the 80s. Colin Harvey had taken that from stuff he'd seen in Germany and brought it over here. We used to call it hunting in packs then. Right, Everton would do it. We'd get the ball, press, turn the ball over, and then go bang, 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 and win the game. Those great Everton sides. Joe Royle's Everton side wasn't great by any stretch.
But that's what they did best.
But what did they do? Them three, Parkinson, Ebrel and Horn, battle, scrap for everything, win the ball, and then we'd take a chance. And then it evolved a bit with Kanchelskis and Limpar, but it was still built on the thing. Well, that's the thing. And then Moyes did the same.
You on Saturday? Limpar?
Limpar was he, yeah. Didn't see him, no.
But that's for like Limpar.
Hell of a player.
Yeah.
But Evertonian as well, from a kid. But the same with Moyes' best teams. Moyes' best teams were built on hard work, and then you had the sprinkling of, you know, like you just said there, no team works as hard, well, they might do, as Manchester City. Man City have got an unbelievable ability pool. They do, you know, you've seen All or Nothing, you'll see how much they work on tactics, but they all work ridiculously hard. Barcelona do. Yeah. Everton were Barcelona under Martins without the work.
Yeah, well,
and that's why they know how
to get it over the line.
Well, that's the thing, and had nowhere to go with it, and that was the example of it.
That's what we've seen this season, though, and that, you know, as well as commitments and Saturday, pace, tempo. We pushed it constantly. It wasn't like, you know, we couldn't play that like 10 games on the bounce. We'd be knackered, but that level of, you know, high tempo, West Ham just couldn't live with it. And you watch other games this season, I know it's different seeing certain opponents, but you're just lollygagging it around midfield while, you know, they all set up and go, actually, we can just have a break here and have a drink water while they pass it around the field. We didn't let them have a minute's notice. They cleared the ball, they pressed the man who got the ball, and that was it. We won the ball back and we were upfield again. And Tom Davis and Andre Gomez certainly out with that, because every time they got the ball, pop it to Iwobi, pop it to Bernard, pop it to Walcott, and we were away again. And it's simple, really, in a lot of ways, but it's also not, because you need the personnel to do it. And I think that's where you're going to find it hard if you're trying to integrate certain players back into the system, because they just haven't got that athleticism and that dynamism that we showed.
I think it was one of the first times this season where it was, you know, I know it was set up as a 4-2-3-1, but for large periods of that game, it was a 4-3-3. You know, you've seen how high Walcott pressed, you've seen how high Bernard pressed to be behind him. But the three in midfield, you never felt like they ever wanted to go backwards. No. I mean, this is the big thing when we talk two at the back, because two in midfield, we always look at it and think it's a negative thing. But if those two are popping the ball forward all the time, every time Tom Davies got the ball forward, and we'll talk more about him in a bit, but every time Andre Gomez got the ball, he wanted to go forward.
But he followed the ball
because people are actively going forward, though. Your right back is going and not even looking.
No,
he's continuing all the time. Dean's over there and he's got Bernard over there, and it helps you to just push on. And that was for me, that was the most crucial thing. You're giving the ball to Iwobi and he's breaking the lines with it, and suddenly, like you said, then you find yourself in higher positions quicker. There was one in the first half, and it's just a couple of little passes, and then Gomez sprayed the ball over to the left hand side, and Dean, before you know it, is already up there. Yeah. Then you're saying to the opposition, "Well, stop us now." I looked how many times we caught West Ham, and all they had was two centre backs and maybe Rice in front of them, because we'd let their fullbacks just go up, and then boom, we were away, and they were never in at their fullback. I think seeing a graphic, I think we looked at in the tactics show, where their fullbacks position for the entire game was practically 15 yards higher than their centre backs. Yeah. You can't do that when you're playing against a team that have got three up front. You're always going to lose. For me, you know,
you can commit players forward, you need players to slot back, but you know, at the end of the day, Declan Rice couldn't get near any of the midfielders.
No.
And the problem with them is they're quite weak-minded defensively. There's certain games where Diop and Ogbonna look really good together, and there's certain, you know, Diop's been linked with moves, I'm a fan, but he's so weak-minded at times. He still needs to develop that side of his game where, if they are under pressure, he needs to stand up, because they just can't. They can't stand up to that pressure.
I just think if we had
a lot of chances.
If we'd have taken our chances, it'd have been done a lot earlier.
It should have been 6 or 7. It really should have. I mean, if there's any sort of a negative from the game, it's that we're still not taking our chances. We should have been 4 or 5 up. It should have been easily one of those days.
Roberto made 8 saves though, which is a lot.
The happier thing though about that is the fact that we created a lot more quality chances and we scored 2. that's better than creating 2 or 3 and not scoring, because the more you create, the more likely you are to score. And that's the difference in this season. We haven't created really enough chances, and I think.
Well, I think what will come, hopefully, if you do that every game, then there's a patience that comes from that, and you're not snatching at chances, and you're going to be a little bit, and then maybe.
And let's be honest, we won't have goals disallowed. There's not numbers.
No,
like that as we go through.
And then you can maybe look at someone like Moise Keane and say, well, I can introduce him to the team now because I know he's going to get chances.
And his services there, exactly. Yeah.
I think what I liked about, you see, this is the thing going back to how rigid we've been, how frustrated we were recently with that, how slow the midfield, wasn't it? It seemed like we just had to play this way. When I looked at it Saturday, and particularly the last 10 minutes, Theo had done a good job and come off, and then Moise Keane come on. When Moise Keane come on, you were looking and going, there's actually a situation here where we could play Moise Keane, Richarlison and Bernard now. Because Bernard finished the game, didn't he? He doesn't often finish 90 minutes for Everton. And that's how good a game he had. And you could have them as a 3 then. And then it doesn't matter because they're all rotating. And then you could have other times where Iwobi's on the wing, or if Gylfi's in, if he has to come. You know what I mean? So it's about using your players correctly. I think he used it at the weekend. He might have been forced. We don't know. He could sit here and say, that was my team. I decided midway through the week that was going to be the team because I knew Delph was out, whatever. Great. It's irrelevant. He played that team. What was really good about it was we got on West Ham from the first whistle. We didn't allow them any time to settle in the game. They had that free kick after about 2 minutes, which went a couple of yards wide. Other than that, they didn't have a chance. Pellegrini said we didn't create anything. It was so one-sided. It was untrue at half-time, which is why he made the change. But we did really well. We broke quickly, and that engaged the crowd. And once we started getting a run on them, they started to look worried then, and that's obviously when we should have
gone 1-0 up beforehand. Tom Davies is really, that's a big chance.
He heeled it, didn't he, into the floor?
He had a full goal to it, and he's
Roberto, like a good keeper there.
But I mean, the goal itself, it's come from good running. It's come from Bernard coming.
It starts from the 2 centre backs.
Yeah,
Mina, Pickford to Mina to Keane. He breaks the lines with the ball.
On the tactics show, it's just everyone's bombing forward.
Everyone's forward. But
it's nice ball from Walcott, but Bernard's coming inside. Making that run from left into the centre, from out to in. Their right back doesn't see him coming inside. And he cuts in. You think the chance is gone. Why didn't he take it first time?
Well, everyone was going.
But he got a little bit of He got a little bit of luck, and the goalkeeper should be.
He squeezed it under the keeper though. At first I thought, how's he let that in? And when you see it again, it's a great finish. The fella behind, one of the fellas behind me, when nobody dropped, it come to me and just shoot, dickhead. So you could hear, and then the next minute, good goal, lad.
That was the collective. That's what you could hear, and then. He
scores a great goal, but it was a good run, and we did on the tactics show. We showed how many people were trying to fly and attack.
Do you know what that helps? And this is like something you work on in training, which is why I've question mark on the past. And Walcott comes off the wing, but the defender can't go with him because there's 2 running past him on the outside. That's positional play, and then the right back's got to think about Dean running up the other side and Richarlison's putting the centre. That's the things you need to do more often. Whereas
but can you pin that on the manager? Because say for argument's sake, it's
that's maybe the players.
Say it's Richarlison in that position on the right, or Seamus hasn't maybe gone into that area he shouldn't have done.
That selection of players, which does come back to the manager. And if they don't fit your system, you shouldn't select them. And that's the problem. Is maybe I'm not going to defend Marco much, but I think maybe that he hasn't sort of seen the wood from the trees, in the sense that his style is predicated on pace and pressing and movement, and he's picking players that don't have any of that.
The other side of it, though, is, again, like you just said there, it's Bernard. Bernard hasn't been playing games. So the Bernard's coming from out to in. Yeah. He's reacting maybe to Richarlison's movements. Well, that's different from Dom's movement. Dom might be static there, where Richarlison's on the move. Walcott's coming inside and playing the pass.
Iwobi trying to go on it.
Yeah, because if you're defending Calvert-Lewin, it's much different, because he wants the ball to his feet. Well, he doesn't probably really, but the way we play him, he wants the ball to his feet back to goal. You don't have to worry about runners, because he's not going to be able to turn well. But when you've got Richarlison on the shoulder, defenders have to worry about him. They're not looking at players.
Well, it's a different. You're faced with a different proposition, aren't you? It's what Man City's had. Aguero doesn't want it fed into him. He's back to goal most times. He wants to be the slide.
But look at Man City at the weekend. Look at their second goal.
Yeah.
Look at the way they do the same thing. They're a midfielder. Like, you know, Silva's, and how many times have we seen that team do that? Just moving through the spaces. We don't see that at Everton enough, and this goal's the first time for
we
a long
saw
time.
it against Chef Wed and that. I think that's when you look at that Chef Wed game in isolation, you go, look at that goal that Bernard and Wobie were involved in. That's what we want to see more often.
You break it down to the simplest form when you play football. If the defence are outnumbered, they don't know where to pick up. And that's the thing. And if you've got a clever player on the ball who just looks to find the space, because that's what he's doing. He's not looking for Bernard. He's looking to play it into the space. It's just that Bernard takes the chance. And that's what you've got to do. We don't do that enough. When Sigurdsson plays, he doesn't do that enough. He's always looking to get it to feet or into a runner. Sometimes you've just got to play it into the space and hope someone's made a run. And if they haven't, you've sort of done your job. And maybe there's times when people will look at Sigurdsson and say he does do that though. He does play those balls, and other people don't react. So maybe there is a case for that at times. But it just happens that in this game, you know, Walcott was on the ball and he just plays that ball into the space, and Bernard makes a good run. But I say again, if you are outnumbering the defence because you're taking the chance, because you've got runners, because if that ball gets stopped there, I'm confident that with the players on the pitch, we would have got enough men back.
Davis had sat deep. He didn't join the attack because that was because he knew the fullbacks were on, and that's smart. You see outnumbering, but it's also 1v1s. Like when we play against because the midfield sits on the halfway line, we're always mismatched. But when you commit players, fullbacks, midfielders, then you've got those 1v1s. And if Walcott breaks off his man, then the defence collapses. You have a spare man.
And it's funny because I remember when we spoke after the Watford game, and the Wolves game, and we said the same thing. We said, you know, if you want to score goals, okay, sometimes you might leave the back door open a little, but if you want to score goals, you've got to commit players. You've got to take chances to win games of football. And, you know, we did that in this game. But, you know, it was a good goal. But obviously, Theo Walcott set that up. Let's just have a little look at his numbers for the game. I mean, you don't have to breathe in. You can just speak them out.
Okay. 44 touches, 1 assist, 7 shots from Walcott in this game, but only 1 on target.
He put that lovely ball over on the diagonal. He caught it, couldn't get out of his feet, and he tried to back heel. Unfortunately, it was blocked. But no, Walcott was obviously the one that.
Well, he had the one early on, didn't he? But it's Luca Dean takes a quick free kick into him, and he pulls it down, and it gets blocked by Bonner, goes for the corner. But he looked lively. Then you could see he looked sharp, and the one that hits the bar is just so unlucky. It's a tremendous strike.
It's quite a headline, isn't it?
Well, it is though. He's finished. He was finished.
To be honest with you, that's why I made a couple of jokes about it on Saturday, because I was thinking, who is this player? Because we haven't seen that for 18 months.
No. But isn't that the point though? Isn't he a player? See, I'm still not convinced he should be playing on the right. No, I think he should be playing on the left if he plays anywhere, because I think that's where he's always wants to shoot on his right foot. But playing in a 4-3-3 is more of a natural fit for him. He is a wide striker. He's not a winger. No, he's always been a wide striker.
Cross the ball.
His hero was Thierry Henry. He modelled his game on him. But Thierry Henry, he did, didn't he? You know, he wanted the number 14 shirt.
He wants to play front because he wants to make the same runs in the channels, get behind the defence.
He's not a winger, and he's that classic player of, if you give him the ball on the halfway line, he hasn't got the ability or doesn't know what to do once he hits that burst of pace. He's not, and you've seen that in times in this game. He is a player that is a wide forward, and I think we've seen more of him. The fact that he had 7 shots shows how high up he was playing in this game.
There's also, he made some really clever touches. I think there was one that was fizzed into someone. He took the weight out of it, but helped it on. And Dean got onto it. It was just stuff that I thought, that's confidence there. And I thought, it was early in the game, you think, he's obviously getting himself into the game. Obviously, that's quite good for a winger. That's
so, you know, 15 successful passes, 12 successful passes in the attack and third, 2 chances created.
I'm not
60%. No.
That's same for everyone. If you're trying to break the lines, you're trying to pass into good areas, I've got no problem.
But you're taking chances, aren't you?
Yeah, I don't want people 95% possession on the halfway line. I don't. We want people. Tom Davis, people criticise him for losing the ball. I'd rather him lose the ball passing it forward, trying to break the ball into the penalty area, than trying to lose the ball passing it slow around the halfway line. That's just a massive fact.
I mean, it's a big thing. That's 4 ball recoveries again, showing how hard he worked. 3 success. In fact, I think he had 100% tackle rate. I think he won 3 out of 3 tackles. Suffered 3 fouls, reviving his career. It's right that, because
it's a marker.
He was written off. He's been written off. We've all gone, no, he's done. Because what does he offer us? Well, he offers us something different if we're playing a 4-3-3.
Does, yeah.
He's closer to the goal now. Okay, some of his decision making's not great.
He's not a perfect player by any means,
but
no.
he's pacey.
He didn't have a perfect
which
game.
means they worry.
But no one did.
Worries
But you don't need people to have. As long
He does.
as he does worry people. The
He
pace
does
still,
worry
yeah.
people.
Pace
He's
worries
still
people.
got something there, and you've seen that on Saturday. He was willing to work hard. You know, different. He had a different player behind him, which we'll talk about in a little bit. That offered something that helped his game, which isn't always there. And he just, you know, you know what he looked like. He looked like he enjoyed it.
Yeah.
He looked like a player who enjoyed playing in that game on Saturday.
I think it's the hair.
Do you know what?
Do you think what? Do you think? I think it's the bang on the head.
Do you know what I think, Alco?
Yeah,
If you want,
I think he thinks he is Thierry Henry.
If you want players to play with movement and pace, you come from an Arsenal team that was
movements and pace.
instinctive with the movement and pace. So you're adding play. You got Iwobi there. You got Bernardi played in Paulo Fonseca's system. These players are used to playing in a fluid system. It helps.
One of the other reasons what helped them is Richarlison.
Yeah.
Because
the
Richarlison
Always on the move.
Sometimes you watching Everton, you forget what a centre forward's supposed to do. And Richarlison on Saturday, he didn't have too many chances on goal, but that wasn't the point. Point was, he never give those centre backs a minute's peace. Especially Diop will be having nightmares about him because he just sat in front of Diop and he didn't know what to do.
I like the fact that he put himself up against him. I like the fact that he was in him. He
can hold the ball up. I've watched him for Brazil. He can hold the ball up.
He was trying to get free kicks off him.
The one that he left him, his decision was poor, but he faced him up, knocked it past him, left him for dead, and then he should have knocked it first time square. He took another touch, ends up getting a corner.
There was two that on another day could have been penalties.
Yeah.
He was bumped off the ball twice. That if that happens anywhere else on the pitch, it's a foul.
Or another ground in red,
he was literally bumped off the ball a couple of times. But his movement allowed that space for Walcott to run into at times.
Because if your centre forwards is on the line of the final third instead of on the penalty box, you're not going to be able to get it. There's going to be no movement because the space is compact. That's exactly why he was good.
He's a proper, for me, he's the most likely centre forward. We've done this in the summer, didn't we? And people were like, no, off the wing, he's better. And
if he gets chalk on his boots, it's wasting your time.
Yeah, exactly. He's a player who's dangerous in front of goal.
He's not a crosser. He's not a big passer. He's just a player. He's instinctive.
And he's a willing, hard worker.
The other thing I'd say about him as well is it's very noticeable in the last few games how frustrated he's being literally a right midfielder.
Out the game.
He's being a real. I still think he can play anywhere in those front positions.
He can,
If you're playing in a 4-3-3.
If he played like Walcott, if he played the same position as Walcott, maybe I wouldn't have him doing as much defensive work as Walcott done. Because I want him forward. But if he had that role where he can tuck in, then but
he doesn't mind doing it. Don't forget.
He's still got the most tackles.
Didn't Richarlison give away the free kick in the first 2 minutes?
That was brain dead.
I know it's stupid, but that's
you don't want your centre forward making tackles.
Nobody's prepared to work hard.
He's not being asked to do that, but he still did it.
Still pitch.
No, that's the thing, though, isn't it?
But listen, I think people, for some reason, want to find fault with his game. Some people, loads love him. Some people...
You can find fault in everyone's game.
No, but I don't understand why... There's this, like, almost this culture now that we have to pin everyone down. We have to drag everyone down to the level.
About everyone,
Richarlison is brilliant. He scores our goals. He gives everything for the... I don't understand why people wouldn't have him as one of their most favourite players in this Everton side because of what he does and the work he does. And you see when we score, he's like a fan. When we score, he loves it.
But it's got to be in the right areas, hasn't it? And recently he hasn't.
That's about people using them correctly. That's
that comes back down to the manager, doesn't it? The manager. I think we've said in other times and.
But hang on, the manager used him as a centre forward last year and people didn't like it.
Well, that's because the problem there is Everton and expectation of a centre forward. We have not really ever had it on the shoulder centre forward. We love a centre forward who holds the ball, gets some wins headers.
I think the main criticism again though was when he played centre forward. Well, not a criticism in him as such. Was the style we were playing in. If he was going back to goal, he couldn't go back to goal. But that's because we weren't playing the ball in the right places. Gylfi Sigurdsson wasn't getting anywhere near him
and wasn't feeding
and wasn't giving it in front of him. So he was coming back looking for the ball. And again, that's because of almost the setup we were playing in. Was when we were playing a 4-3-3, and there was one. It was so frustrating, and I thought it would have been a perfect illustration of both of the performances. We had a break really close to the end, and Walcott had it, and you could see him bursting in. And if Walcott had played the first time,
he was in
for a tapping, but Walcott played that extra touch, which always frustrates people. And that's where he wanted. There's not enough of that. And
I think just on the Gylfi Sigurdsson thing, last year when he played up front against Brighton at home, he scored probably one of the best goals of the season off their corner, if you remember. Gylfi does, and then Gylfi does play that little ball inside, and Richarlison run on and swept it in. And that's what you want if Sigurdsson's playing. Get it in front of strikers, and I suppose Dom is showing like this because it's into my chest or into my feet or behind Sigurdsson. Moise Keane just isn't quite there yet, but he's getting better. The physicality of it, he's starting to...
When he came on, he just put himself
about, but that's it. Because you'll get used to the physicality.
The way we played Saturday gives me more hope that Moise Keane could come into the side and
because if he used properly then,
and fit into that system.
Occupy any of the front three positions.
He's not a target man in that system we were playing the other week at all.
Well, he's not, is he? He's one of those
this comes down to the manager. The manager knows what players he's got. Play the system that suits your players.
Yeah, but hang on, with the manager as well, though.
He's under pressure,
He's under pressure, but he's also, for people like Moise Keane, you're trying to get them up to speed. So there's different ways. Now, if Richarlison's going to be the line leader, yeah, and Moise Keane's going to be the player that comes on either side of him. Don't forget, he played there for Verona and done all right. He's wide left for Verona. I'm not saying he's a winger. But if you've got three that are fluid, even if he's not starting, if he's coming on after 65 minutes and replacing Walcott or Bernard, whatever, and he's up there with Richarlison, you want that fluidity. The best teams are able to move in and out.
Yeah, they play different positions.
They move it around, but as long as he's close to goal, same with Richarlison, the same with Walcott. No point putting Walcott and Richarlison wide right and asking them to play wide right because neither of them cross a ball. No, I know Richarlison crossed the one for Dom at Bournemouth, but that's the exception rather than the rule.
Yeah, it's not a very good cross.
No, and I think Sidibe helped Theo Walcott because he wanted to get on the
But he doesn't make the same run. Like I find that Seamus Coleman runs in straight lines all the time, whereas Sidibe will run outside, he'll run inside, he'll curl.
Let's leave that discussion for now. Let's talk about Tom Davies.
Yep.
Let's talk about Tom Davies, who I thought was excellent on Saturday. Him and Gomez give us, again, the platform to build on. And again, this might have been one of those decisions that might have come by accident. Delph wasn't available. Snyland said he had a small injury. I don't know who that is, but Tom come in.
I'm sure he has.
He said on Twitter,
yeah. I'm sure he is injured.
That doesn't mean
it's like something might be pulled, might be strained.
Tom came in, and what was good was he just played 221 games where he was man of the match in both of them, captain in both of them, played in that little holding role that he played on Saturday, and you could see that he'd come in off the back of a couple of games,
fresh,
and I think that's the point with Tom. I think you're never going to get the best out of Tom Davies if you're just dipping him in here or there.
You're not going to get the best out of any players because that was the issue with Luchman. You come in for 20 minutes, 6 games after he last played. Now you can't expect players to do stuff. Same with Tom Davies. If you need to play him to get the best out of him. He's not going to just come in for the gold and play his best game.
He's a young player.
Exactly.
I think Everton put a thing on saying it was his 50th start.
Was it?
Now, if it wasn't for Ronald Koeman, it would have been around his 100th start as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
Because this is a lad, and we've said this before, this is a lad who was mismanaged. This is a lad who, when he had come into his second season, Ronald Koeman's second season, this is a lad who should have been one of the first choices on the team sheet and allowed to play. Forget about
especially the way he'd finished.
Forget about all the players you brought. This is a player who should have just been left in the side to develop. We were a good enough side. We were always going to be around 7th place anyway, so you could get away with that. I think now, Tom, I thought it was a very mature performance. I don't know how many times he gave the ball away because I didn't see him give the ball away at all, really.
I don't think he does.
One little mark on his game was the booking he got just before half time. But actually, second half, when he came out second half, the discipline he showed not to throw in any stupid tackles. Yeah. He just held back and he allowed other people he pressed and allowed other people to nick the ball off those players. And I thought that showed a really clever bit of experience that we don't always associate with them. And I just thought it was probably one of his most mature performances. Now the question is, will the manager allow that continue? Will he look at next week's game and think, I might need to bring back a Delph, I might need to bring back a Snyderland? Possibly. But him and Gomez were, a really good partnership. And it was funny before the game, Joe Cole was on BT and he was like, this game's going to be won in the midfield, and I just think Declan Rice and Mark Noble are going to have more than Gomez and listen, Gomez was just magnificent.
Declan Rice.
He was absolutely magnificent.
Gomez put his half speed slippers on.
What was funny about it was, I think David Gold had said, he was asked about not signing Gomez, and he said, "Oh yeah, but I'm not really that worried, because he's only just come back from."
You were fuming?
He's only just come back from. No, he said he's only just come back from injury, so we won't see much of him this game. Probably 2-3 games, and he was magnificent. But both of them brilliant. But Tom just quietened a lot of his doubters. Now
Tom had an 85% pass completion. He gave the ball away 6 times.
Well, there you go.
34.
It was all there. I mean,
there's key as well. He got into the final third and made passes in the final third. If you look at like Schneidlin never gets in the final third. When he does, he shouldn't be there. So, but with Tom, or with the tempo set him, and Gomez set the tempo as soon as they got it out of the feet quickly. None of this messing around in the field.
I've only just realised why. It's the beard.
I think he looks a bit bigger, I thought this on Saturday. I thought physically he coped with the game much better, and also much more assured in his touches.
Do you know what he did?
Extra seconds.
Do you know 13 ball recoveries.
Do you know what he does though? And I think too many times he's done in the past is he puts himself in situations where he's trying to win 50-50s against players who are much bigger than him. I think what he did on Saturday is he just pressed and allowed other people like Gomez to come in there and take the ball. You look at Gomez's size, if he really wants it, he can beat a lot of people in the Premier League. Sometimes he's not always on it. But I thought Tom, the way he pressed, held him off, especially the second half, as I mentioned. And just those lovely little first-time pop-offs that he did. Loads of times, the ball would just come to him, and he'd lovely little pop-off into someone like Gomez or to Iwobi, and we're on the front foot again. Whereas maybe Schneidlin and Delph might take it, do a little run round the corner, and then look for another option. Where the option was gone then, where Tom just kept everything going. And I thought it was, I've seen him, you can say you arguably seen him play better for Everton, but I just thought it was his most mature performance in an Everton shirt.
It probably is.
2 interceptions and only committed 2 fouls in the game.
His intelligence though, you've always said when you saw him in the under 23s, he was so far ahead of players' intelligence. And I think when you get young and the pace of the Premiership's much hard, it's hard to use your intelligence because it's a physical game. And that's what I think he seemed to have that extra second on Saturday because he knew where to position himself better. Maybe he's just mature and better, and he does deserve a run on the team, as it says there. I think, we look at Schneidlin, maybe Delph will come back in, maybe, but I think it's time to give Tom a run on the team to prove either whether he is or he isn't good enough for Everton.
I mean, this is defensive side of things.
13 ball recovery, like I said before, on either this or the tactics. So Ghana was averaging 11, 12 ball recoveries, this 13, 2 aerial duels, 1 in, 2 interceptions, 1 clearance from 1. But the thing about it is, you're absolutely right, that in Premier League football, sometimes you get the opportunity to play the pass with a split second and you get something from it. The minute you hesitate, that opportunity's gone. He didn't do that. The amount of times it come and it was back off, and it was knocker here, and it was there, and we were back on the front foot each and every time. Should have scored, we know that. Should have scored. He had another one where he created an opportunity for us. He's a good player. He buys those free kicks. First couple of minutes, went on a run, let the fella hit and went down, free kick to Everton. Very, very clever. Knows his game.
The thing about it is, though, why don't people want him to do well? Why don't people
only see his flaws?
No, I know, but why don't people?
Because some have written him off and don't want to be proved wrong.
There's a lot of that.
Why
with any player?
At the moment, I mean, listen, the last couple of weeks have been all doom and gloom, that, and there's all been stories been coming out about, the latest one was Lewis Gibson. There was another one actually yesterday about Benny Beningame,
who's on the bench.
Massive surprise that he was on the bench. Now he's looking to get off in January because he's, he can't break through. We've heard other players. Joe Williams obviously seen him doing an interview with Paddy in the Athletic saying, there was nothing for me anymore. He got man of the match, which was good over the weekend for Wigan. But he was saying there was nothing for him anymore. And he actually said Everton there's kids there who should be getting played and are not. And Everton were buying people. Now, all right, for some of those things, Everton will be completely in the right, of course they will. We want to get big and we want to get better and we want to have players in every position. But this is a player that, and we said this in the last few weeks, where the manager said 3 or 4 weeks ago, he's not a defensive player, he's not a number 6. Now on Friday, he sort of changed his tone. He said, well, he probably could play in there, but he'll probably need someone next to him. Well, that's fair enough. I understand that. He's not going to be he's not going to be able to sit in front of the back four and be just that one defensive midfielder. Absolutely right, he isn't that kind of player. But with someone like Andre Gomez next to him and playing in a 3, you see that he is a all-round midfielder, and the only way he's going to grow And I don't know why people don't want this, is for him to play week in and week out. And I think if this lad put 20, 25 games in a row, people would completely change the tune about him. Well, because you know what? Because he wears, green, horrible Adidas trackies and walks around town with a skateboard under his arm and goes for a coffee on Bow Street.
And he's not a sheep.
I put it the other day on Twitter, and this is Tom Davis's and I didn't know whether he was starting or not, but I said, this is Tom Davis's chance. He's got to grab it by the scruff of the neck. He's got to. It's only on him now. If he's given a chance, it's on him to take the chance. And you read the comments from people like, you're absolutely right. And other people like, he's shit. It's too busy messing about in town on skateboards. And you're thinking, lad, there's people out there messing around in cars. There's people out there messing around in cars, drunk, getting up to all no. You know what I mean? There's people out there. This is a lad who's dead down to earth, brilliantly grounded lad. Evertonian through and through. Why don't we all want this lad to do well? Why don't we?
I want to be captain.
Do you know the problem I think with Evertonians, all other fans, is when players come out of the academy, because they're so bigged up, right? They only notice the faults. Look at Iwobi, you watched Iwobi on Saturday, and he wasn't perfect, but good player. Arsenal could probably still use a player like that. Arsenal fans, before he came, remember people saying to us on the transfer deadline, Arsenal fans said he's terrible. They only see the faults, they don't see people's qualities.
I've seen loads of Arsenal fans,
Yes, they
ripping the arse out of Nicholas Pepe, going, you're a poor man's Iwobi, we wasted money and all that.
Comments about Iwobi's performance on Saturday from Arsenal fans saying how terrible he was.
Well, listen, everyone sees the game differently, fair enough.
But I think that's the fault, they only see the faults, that's the problem with
Iwobi, for us, is very important. But Tom Davies, I'll be honest, I want him to be Everton's captain one day. I want him to be, because he loves the club. I think he's a good footballer, and that is, before anyone jumps on it and goes, he shouldn't, just because he loves the club, nothing to do with that. It's great that he loves the club, he's a local lad, he's come through, he's one of our own. He's a very, very good footballer, but he's only ever going to be a mainstay or a captain if he performs at that level. You don't give him a free pass. I'm not saying play him regardless. If he has a run of form where he's poor, of course he comes out the team. But he was really good at the weekend. He was something we haven't got. The manager needs to, or people need to stop, and I'm talking about journalists who are questioning the manager at press conferences, need to stop pigeonholing them and going, can he play that number 6? He's a midfield player that can play anywhere. So the manager needs to get that out of his head as well. If you set the team up right,
you can play midfield however you
want.
Don't
need a defensive midfield player.
No, if you set them up like a press.
But the unfortunate thing about this is, though, and I know people go, well, the manager's watching them every day in training. The manager has overlooked Tom on day one this season. He brought Gabama on where he should have brought Tom on at Crystal Palace.
Because Bam wasn't ready.
He wasn't ready.
He'd seen him, so he might have thought.
Even Gabama said
he wasn't. But he wasn't ready. You can say whether he wasn't ready to play. That's what I'm saying, okay. Tom.
I'm gonna respect
yourself here.
No, I'm not.
You are?
I'm not, because I don't know what we and you had watched Tom in pre-season. Did he stand out in any game?
Against Wigan,
well, let's be honest, Jackson, the people who were bad in pre-season were bad when they started the season.
Yeah. People who were bad in pre-season,
so there you go. Bad. So we've seen him all pre-season.
Yeah.
I don't think he stood out.
That's the point, though. People keep on overlooking Tom because they get these new shiny things, and that's the no. It's true, though.
But one of Marcel Brands' principles is to build through the academy. Yeah. So if you don't have a manager who trusts the academy,
hang on,
you never.
It's not that. Listen. I agree with some of what you're saying, but the Gabama thing at Palace...
Ooh, back in love with Marco, are we?
No. I'm just telling you, he's made a decision. We're not at Finch Farm. He's made a decision. That. And the physicality of Crystal Palace that day, who were all huge, that's why you match up sometimes,
but
right?
Telling he's not fit, though.
Well...
And if a player's not confident in the fitness, then you shouldn't play them.
No, I'm not. Listen, I'm not having to go with Marco Silva, even though I am.
Gabama said he was fit enough to be on a bench, so you called upon.
Yes, but people keep on overlooking Tom Davies instead of just letting him have a run. And this is this is a problem with football everywhere. It's that kids keep on getting overlooked, and this is why Germany seems to be, the big thing for them. People keep on getting overlooked because people just want the new shiny signing instead of going, and we said this on a podcast the other week. We were saying something about, if you're bringing a new signing in, great, or you're trying to bring a new signing, but have that youth player as well ready along the same track, so that you can, and as I say, listen, I want Tom to do well. I've never made never said anything about him, anything else about him. I want to do well. I want him to be in the team on Saturday against Brighton, and then it's up to him again. Though it's up to him. He's got
consistency.
He's got to have 2 good games, and then he's got to have 3 good games, and then he's got to have 4 good games.
But then there's also an element of it. You can't, if he has half a good game, you can't just drop him, because that's
no, you're right.
And I think that's the manager's problem. That's the problem with the Premiership, really, because they haven't any patience for mistakes. But players only learn from the mistakes.
Well, the problem is, like we've said loads of times, it comes down to the, what you lose by not being in the Premier League, the risks that the manager, the pressure that he's under if he takes risks. But if it was the team was a lot more settled, then it'd be a lot easier to just bring a player in and bring a player out.
You've got to create a culture of wearing the shirt, keeping the shirt, performing to keep the shirt. I think you lose players when you start going, well, in my opinion, he's better than him, even if you're not playing well, and that lad's not performing. It's like Gylfi is being left out at the weekend. Now, and we will talk about his goal in a minute, but he scored at the weekend. That to me doesn't mean he's back in the team because he scored the goal. Because so what? Iwobi was excellent for the 75 minutes.
That's typical Gylfi Sigurdsson, though, isn't it? Because he does do that. He disappears in games, comes in, scores a goal, and all's forgiven because he scored a goal, which is true.
I thought when Gylfi came on, though, you could see straight away he had a little bit of hunger in him. He had that volley straight away.
Because he saw how Iwobi played.
He was playing right off Richarlison as well, and straight away you could see. And his goal. What's great about his goal is, as soon as he sends Wilshere the chippy, he knows what he's going to do. The technique takes over there. Yeah. Technique just takes over. The trainer takes over, and he puts it in. He's got that yard of space, and it's a tremendous goal. I seen him in an interview afterwards. And BT were asking, put a mic in his face. He said,
"How great did the Iwobi play?"
That's what he did, though. And you know what he went? We needed more energy in midfield. Yeah. We needed it, and at least he recognises that. And he might have been going, "Do you know what? I'd have flourished in there." If it was a 4-3-3 and I'm not playing number 10. No, but that's what I'm saying. In his head, he's probably thinking,
he has to think that, doesn't he?
Otherwise, he'll never get back.
That's what I'm saying. He's thinking, I got this without me loads, because if I was playing in that, then suddenly...
the challenge is up to him to get back in the team. But the first half, we could have gone 2 up. Richarlison missed the post. Another great move. And again, more on the fact that our midfield was mobile. Tom getting it to Iwobi, breaking forward the pace. Iwobi playing it through. Great run by Richarlison, it's the post. We'd had a few of them. Come out for the second half and you're thinking it's 1-0. We should have really been 2. And we just went straight back on the attack again, and we pinned them back again. And we had a goal. Richarlison scored a great goal just after half time. He was offside, but it was a lovely finish, lovely ball in by Likudin, lovely sweeping volley into the top corner. Then we have the Mina goal, which is just ridiculous.
Where we all needed that goal to settle our nerves a little bit.
It's just nonsense. No. That referee, who was absolutely garbage, let's be honest, all day, he was terrible. Why doesn't he just let that play out? Like, even if he thinks that's a foul and just go to VAR, I know it's going to get checked, just have a look for a foul there. And if he goes like that and Gomez has fouled, which he hasn't,
just stand the way he was supposed to stand.
Then
he just stood still.
Then the goal doesn't count.
Put his arms
he just stood still.
His arms down by side.
Listen,
it's just crap.
We can't listen.
How can you blow a whistle before the plays even began?
That's crap. And it was a brilliant. And Bernard would have had an assist as well.
But Mina scoring would have been a big thing, because Mina was.
I said this on another. There's a scale now, isn't there? With me, like a first half set pieces were hitting the first man. Yeah. Then they were hitting Michael Keane's 50-pence head and going on. Then all of a sudden, Yerry Mina's heading it at the goal, and the keeper's making worldies. Now we score, but it's been disallowed. Yeah. So he's going to score a Brighton at the weekend.
Although we did header a couple in the second half with the power of a Osman shot.
Yeah, but that's...
No, I mean, they got them on target. It was like, that one was like, the first 2 were sighters, and that one... And it was just ridiculous, though, because like you said there, and I go back to the one Aston Villa scored at Crystal Palace the other week, which was just... Why aren't the system... We're not going to talk about VAR, we'll talk about it more on the Premier League show on Patreon. But the system is just all over the gaff at the moment. There, you just let it play out, see what happens, and then let VAR decide. Because referees need to just start trusting the system and going, or even not relying on it, but just saying, well, did I see something out coming on my eye? I'll check that in a minute.
The skates pulled up.
It's a goal or it isn't a goal, but I seen something out the corner of my eye. But I tell you what, instead of going upstairs, I'll go over to the big telly I've got over there. That big telly. That no one's used, which is just madness. I know they've been losing favour, don't use that big telly, but when it comes down to it, just walk over.
Right than wrong.
But he can ask Fred in the box, can't he?
But he's not wrong, is he, though?
No, that's what I mean. You'd rather be right, though, by double checking yourself.
You're not asking.
It's like a second chance.
You're not asking the fella up in the box.
Yeah, no.
You're going for yourself, and you're going,
I'll check.
Did I see that right? Because there's times in life we all go, what did I just see? And then, when you go check it yourself, it's your judgment. You're only checking your own judgment. It's not someone else checking your judgment. And for that, you just let it play on. Is it a goal? Yeah, we all said it. He walks over and goes, no, I thought I seen something going on there, but I didn't. Because every single person, I mean, the BBC didn't show it on Match of the Day, which was just a farce for a start. Probably didn't want to add any controversy to it.
Of course.
It's just baffling. Everyone you've heard has just gone.
There was no reason to blow his whistle, and it was pathetic. And then obviously, we've had the one that hit the bar from Walcott. Their keeper's making great saves.
Well, the one where it was Walcott put it in the box, and then Diop kicked it at his own goal.
Yeah, great. That was
He didn't shoulder it. Just hit him. But he didn't shoulder it.
He was there. It just hit him.
That's
our luck, though.
That was a great move.
That was our luck.
A lovely little 1-2. Walcott plays it across. It's Diop's knee. It's the keeper goes over. The other one with Sidibe plays a great ball into Iwobi, and he's pick his corner and he toe pokes it at the keeper.
Again, that's the problem.
And then you start worrying, don't you?
But then the big moment of the game, comes from a refereeing decision. Sidibe does brilliantly well, doesn't even touch it. Gets booted. The lad should have been booked for a start. It was a bad tackle.
It was, yeah.
He's the lad that should have been sent off at Goodison last year.
They get a corner out of it. With Sidibe's on the floor. The ref's going to leave him there and just allow us to play on with 10 men. Richarlison grabs him. We're all 6s and 7s.
Yeah.
Because everyone's all over the place. Haller gets a header on it. And if it wasn't for a combination of Yeremina's boot...
Well, to be fair,
he took the weight out of it
again. Pickford the save.
No, I know, but...
He takes the weight out
of it. A combination of that and a great save. If they get 1-1 there, it's a typical Everton...
collapse there.
No, not even going to collapse, but it's nothing to do with Everton, that, though. That's not... None of that's to do with Everton. Because I won't even fault them for the corner, because if you're dragging a player up, that's just been whacked. It's a farce.
Back post again, though.
No, I know it is, and we did change.
The only thing, though, wasn't it, is that it's a deep one, and Haller wins the header. Yeah. That's all, but we are out of shape. By the time they hobble back on, they took the corner. Yeah. So you see that we're not even set. Haller knocks it down. Yeah. If Bonner hits it, Pickford's right behind it. I think he saves it anyway. But it made it even worse because Mina tries to get a block on it. It's a great save. And then Jagiellenko has the little back heel, doesn't it? And it gets cleared. And the crowd, what? The referee's got to be thinking there, right? The crowd, the noise that when we cleared it was amazing. But the referee's got to be thinking there, hang on, Everton didn't have some coordinated fan protest on the 83rd minute if I give a corner. Yeah. Everyone's fuming. The players are fuming. He should say, the VAR fella for me, should be going, hang on, let's have a look at that again, because he's wellied them. So he should be saying to Tierney, that's a foul. So the referee...
shouldn't even have to say it.
Nobody shouldn't have...
You know what? Right, this is the stupid thing about VAR, and we're going to go into it. So remember they had the two in Europe, they had the two lines behind the goal. They would have spotted that. Yeah. So they took them away, now you've got VAR. Why aren't they getting involved in decisions like that?
I just think he could have said to him, that's a foul, and Tierney would have gone, all right, and then do what every referee has done since time began. Wait for this ball to be mid-air and just go, free kick, pushing in the box. No one would have said a word, and it's gone, because that corner comes in and they equalise. Yeah. Our manager could have lost his job on Saturday or Sunday as a result of that. Who knows? Like you said, there was about 8 or 9 minutes left. Yeah. West Ham could have been buoyed and gone on and won the game. I'm saying,
because we do collapse. You know what I mean?
Well, we don't know. We could have won the game, couldn't we? The way it is. But what I mean is, our manager could have lost his job there, or the pressure could have been cranked up even more for something that he was not his fault and not the team's fault. You cannot give you can't give corners when the lad hasn't even engaged the player, and then he's wellied them. It's absolute nonsense.
It's just pathetic.
But luckily...
That's where it should work. He should be just in his ear going, he booted him there, sound okay, give a goal kick. Enough times passed.
Or a free kick the minute it comes in. Straight blow the whistle. But
let's talk about this. Let's talk about Djibril Sidibe. First Premier League start. Obviously, Seamus Coleman will be available next week.
Not for Ireland.
No.
I thought Sidibé was brilliant. I thought he was brilliant. I thought his runs...
He's mad.
He's insane.
His runs were just brilliant. He's strong, he's powerful, he's got pace, and all he wanted to do was get up the other end of the pitch all day.
I think he's a striker. He's one of those frustrated strikers, isn't he?
Well, you've seen Yerry Mina. He's one of Yerry Mina. Kept on going and got it in the box.
And then went and won the tackle again.
This, for me, is a no-brainer. What Sidibé give us on Saturday is something we haven't seen. It's a player that just wants to keep driving forward. Whereas I think after time now with Seamus, we see it all the time. He gets the ball, he can't see what he wants to do, so he just turns round and then knocks it off, and we start again. The amount of times Sidibé just played little, about 3 or 4 1-2s. He played kept on going. And also, I mean, you look at the ball he played to Iwobi, that wasn't on. No one else seen that. Everyone's got looking over there. Yeah. He's the only one looking down there.
That's the key, though, with Sidibé, is the fact that he is, and I call them modern fullbacks, and the fact that the underlap, the overlap, they can break teams down with the passing, whereas Coleman's very much an old style, straight runner down the line, head down, gets the box, try and cut it back or try and cross it. With Sidibé, as I say, he'll float inside, try and pick the ball. He offers different options, as you say. He always wanted the ball, and he was always trying to get it beyond. He was always running past Walcott, so he creates that space then for someone to cross it. So I just think the fact that he can pass it, he's much better crosser the ball as well. It gives us an added dimension, and I think with Coleman, as you say, it breaks down a lot with Coleman. He doesn't really have any ideas in the final third unless it is to push the pace and run at people, and that always doesn't work when you've got 3 defenders in front of you.
I thought off the ball, he looked a lot more threatening than what Coleman has looked this season. Just having the ability, like you just said, to go past people. We've seen it for the first goal. The ability to just keep going and trust himself that he can get back as well. I mean, we didn't see a lot from him defensively.
Thank God, because he was pressing so high.
No, but but isn't that?
That is his thing.
But that's modern fullbacks, though,
there was one, though, in the first half where Anderson, we lost the ball on the halfway and they broke with Anderson, and he just came back. He just run back round him. And
that was the issue with Monaco, is they found that he did press far too high. Now, in certain games like West Ham, because they're scared of being pressed, great. Against better teams, you just got to be tight. But I think he will be. But that's...
You work on that.
Does Klopp and does Pep say that to his fullbacks?
No, but the way he presses from... This is for Monaco, but Saturday was a bit different. But for Monaco, it was just mindless press at times.
But I think that's what Alexander-Arnold is for Liverpool.
Well, he can't defend,
pressing.
Can he?
The kid doesn't know how to defend, but he's brilliant going forward.
But that's what
you give that up.
He offers that passing, that creativity that Coleman doesn't quite often. And I know Coleman's been great for Everton, but it's coming to the time where I'm not saying he's the right person, because we may not even sign him in the summer, but we need a right back of his type going forward.
Well, what I thought it did was it took the reliance off Luca Dean. Yeah. So therefore it made it more...
But it was equal, weren't we?
Yeah, so it made it more threatening when we broke down the left, because...
Team fresh
and it kept, that's it.
Stop crossing the ball 50 times.
We've seen this with Baines, didn't we? We flogged Baines because we weren't getting especially when Seamus was out. We weren't getting the same down the right-hand side. So what I saw at the weekend, Cuca Martina, people like that. But what I saw at the weekend was the ability to be able to go down either wing. Yeah. And that makes it difficult to play against. If you're thinking, they're coming down the left, and then the next minute they're flying. That's why Liverpool and City are great. Yeah. Because they're getting that. We were built on this under Moyes, weren't we?
Well, that's the best teams are based on having 2 fullbacks who get high and cause problems. Robinson and Alexander-Arnold, Ashley Cole, and who was the right back for Chelsea? Who was the main right back for Chelsea when they played? Carvalho, Ivanovic.
Oh, Ivanovic.
So when you've got them type of players who get high and cause problems,
Spurs, Kyle Walker and
Danny Rose.
We've seen it from Leicester now as well.
Barcelona with Eric Abidal and who's the right back?
Hang on.
Danny Alves.
He makes Danny Alves look like Tony Hibbert. Or the other way around, I mean.
I wouldn't say that. Danny Alves was great going forward.
No, that's what I mean. What I meant was, Danny Alves makes him look like, Danny Alves would play up front and on the corner, but he's never back.
I'm more confused than when we started.
Yeah, so am I. What I was trying to say was, Danny Alves, who was amazing, just didn't care about defending, not at all.
That's right?
So, for us, with him, I think he will. But I think just at the moment, again, going back to battle to get back in. Yeah. Seamus, now the gauntlet's been thrown down. Don't take the easy way and go, we'll put him back in because he knows that. You say to Sidibé,
over the last 10 years,
you say to Sidibé, you're the...
Him and Baines never really had competition.
I don't think Seamus Coleman's played well at all this season. No, and I know some people said, Man City game,
He was better against City.
Better, but it doesn't mean he was good.
No,
for me, he doesn't suit the way we are trying to play. If we are trying to play in a 4-3-3, it doesn't help the system because he can't. He doesn't see the wood for the trees, and he just turns around and goes back. Where this lad just wanted to get it forward and then him get forward, and then trust the players to get it back to him. And that's how we overrun. And I just don't think I don't think there is. I think the ball we've seen for Iwobi and the pass he played in the Sheffield Wednesday game the crossfield pass.
Yeah, for Calvert.
They're the differences. That's the difference.
Coleman at the byline. That's where he's going all the time.
But I think as you're trying to improve your team. Like, this is a World Cup winner. I know he didn't play, but he's in the squad. Part of the squad. He's won stuff with Monaco. He's been on the verge of big moves before an injury.
50 million,
you know, so this is a very, very attacking and quality fullback that we've got there. Now, you're right. Whether he's Everton's fullback for the next 3 years, who knows? If he continues like he did Saturday and is successful, then why wouldn't you buy him for 12 million? Then again, Everton might look and go, well, you know what? They've seen this lad, and we've got John. Well, I watched John Joe last night for Schalke. He was hit and miss.
I'll do it full Everton, Schalke.
He was
full Everton. They had a chance to go top of the league and got beat 2-0.
Well, he was dominating, and then he got caught. John Joe got caught out of position. He went 1-0. But anyway, that's a decision to make in the summer. But right now, what I seen on Saturday was someone who, and I've seen this in the 3 games he's played, the 2 cup games, someone who gives us different options, someone who makes different choices on the ball, and an athlete. Now, that's all you can do. The gauntlet's thrown down to Seamus. Can he get back in? It's up to him to work hard now and training. But Sidibe, for me now, should have the share for the next half. Well,
this is what drives me insane about Marco Silva, though, because you watch these in training, and I know for a fact that Sidibe offers more of what we need than Coleman. Why is Coleman? It's experience,
safe.
Yeah, it is.
Safe.
It's too safe, and this is the problem with managers now, because they fear the sack. You go with the experience, safe options, and you just got to not do it.
Sometimes this is what happens. Listen, it's one game. It's one game in isolation. It's the best game we've had this season.
It was exciting to watch.
It was a good game. It was exciting to watch. And sometimes these things happen. Sometimes you have a bad run of form and it forces you into doing things that you wanted to do, but you didn't feel like you could. Suspensions happen, injuries happen. Sometimes
it makes the choice easy.
Yeah, it makes the choice easy, but don't make the choice, easy by reverting back to type next week.
Yeah.
Because we all looked at that going, well, we'll win more games than we'll lose. Definitely. Playing like that.
Especially the way the state's the Premier League is.
Yeah, without a shadow.
Exactly.
Because there's a lot of weak teams in there who, if you put them under pressure, they will fold quite easily. Obviously, you've got to adjust against certain teams, but
play on the front foot. Yeah. Play on the front foot.
And with confidence. If we go into a game, next week we create 10 chances. We should score 2 of them. If the week after we do the same, we should score, we play Watford then. If we make 10, 15 chances at home, you should at least then, if you don't, you can go, we need a new striker. But if Richarlison's playing and maybe Moise Keane starts getting a chance, because chances are getting, and people start going, and then what happens then is, hopefully, even though I don't want this to happen, if you go goal behind, you go, we'll make enough chances that we can score goals in this. Whereas I think the mindset's been from players and fans, and probably the manager, is being, we're done here because we just don't make enough chances. Or when that chance comes, we snatch at it.
I think, you'll win and you'll lose games. That's the whole nature of football. But if he picks a team that attacks and you're attacking, people will allow you that. You can lose a game, but you come out and go, you know what, we played well, we created chances, we've got to take our chances, that's the problem. It's when it's negative, it's stale, and you're losing games, people then start questioning everything. And I think if Everton played the way they did at the weekend in the majority of games this season, they will win a lot more than they'll lose, because the quality takes over. I've said it all season. We've got good enough players to get in the top 6. Our level of player is better than most teams. Not Liverpool, Tottenham, United,
I think we'll sign a
City.
centre back in January as well, which will help as well, because I think he had that, that pace next
to
him.
Well,
he's on the ball as well. He gets us forward.
Well, our patrons, Mark Zobel, done the thing and sent the results over, and 56% of our patrons went for Gomez for man of the match.
There was a couple of options, wasn't there?
Mina was second,
Davis,
and that was my one.
They were both 9s for me.
Mina, Dean was good, and Davis was good, but I've just thought those 2 for me, Mina and Gomez. Really
what I'd say about this game is, just to round it off, is, listen, we're playing West Ham and they're crap.
They are.
No.
Said they finished well above us.
Just listen. They're not very good, but players. No, but
they've got some good players.
Players didn't have. We didn't. It's not like every single player played out of the skin in this game. They just played the way they should play. They played. The jigsaw was starting to look the way it should look put together, whereas in the last few weeks it looked slow and stale because we've got too many slow and stale players in the team. You freshen up and you put fresher players with a little bit of pace. Guess what? You get pace in your team and you get a bit of freshness in your team. And excitement. So let's keep that going, because if we keep that going, we should win a few games, and we need to start looking up rather than looking anywhere else. So,
listen, Gylfi Sigurdsson, come on, at the volley, great save by the keeper. Scored an absolute worldie, and I've said it before. I think I said this to Zach at the time. Like, we hadn't really scored a bad goal for us, and he immediately said, "Hang on, what about the one against Chelsea, the penalty when it rolled back to him, just tapped it in?" I was like, "All right, that's one." But every other goal, but every other goal he scored for us is like a top 15 DVD goal.
The 90s, it would have been out the next day.
Well, that's every
the best
goal.
Thing about, honestly, I've got my criticisms of Gylfi Sigurdsson, but it's technique. I've never seen anyone hit a shot right where it's like it's forward spin. Because the way it goes, he doesn't hit it with like a lot of power. It just rolls over the top of the keeper.
His goal was like the Leicester goal.
Yeah.
He knew as soon as he got out.
I knew the minute it left his foot, it was in.
He knew the minute he left his foot where it was going, and that's like because of hours and hours of free kick practice. And that, ironically, he's not scored a free kick for us. But that's just pure technique. Exactly the same as the Leicester, and he did the same with the Leicester.
Shifted
the man to the chippy, and then put it where he wanted.
It was absolutely marvellous, and you know what, in some respects, and I've said this sometimes, we could have won that game 6-0, right? And come out of it, and the last 25 minutes would have been flat-ish because the game's done and dusted. The fact that we were still hanging on a little bit in the 90th minute, and then the Gladys Street from where I was sat, mate, the limbs in there when it hit the net.
That's what we do.
That is the thing sometimes galvanises you. Everyone come bouncing out the stadium. It's one game. We haven't turned the corner because results dictate that, but it was a fantastic goal. He come on at a time when the pace of the game had dropped, and he was well up to speed. And I think, listen, he's got to force his way back in, but I'd be leaving him and saying, last 15, you're going to be our key man now for the next few weeks.
To the end of the game, though, when he scored that goal, it reminds me of the Man City one where Jelavic scored with the deflection. It was like a relief in a sense. It was. A sigh of relief when he scored, because Jelavic hadn't scored 10 games at that point. But the crowd as well just needed to just see us over the line.
Sometimes you get more out of that, though, than a 4 or 5 0 win.
Like Palace last year as well.
Yeah, when
basically a year to the day.
Today it is, isn't it?
Yeah, it's exactly the same thing. Sometimes, especially when you deserve to win a game by a lot more, it does take that pressure out of it. So, and I tell you what a performance by Mason Holgate, tremendous. But we haven't got time to talk about that.
One is one and only aerial battle.
There you go. Make sure to let us know your thoughts in the comments.
Moise Keane, you didn't mention him. He done well when he came on.
I haven't got time.
Done well.
Videos to make.
Done well when he come on.
Make sure you if you want to speak about Moise Keane in the comments, speak about Moise Keane in the comments. Give this video a thumbs up if you've liked it. If you haven't subscribed, please do. Check out Andy's things that he does on Twitter.
Not as much anymore.
All right, he stopped. He's doing more for us. He's more for us. There you go. If you haven't subscribed, please do. Join us on Patreon where we have live shows of what we're about to do now. And don't forget to check out...
I'll give it 20 minutes.
I'll let you go on the toilet. And don't forget to check out that deal with The Athletic. This week only, flash sale, 60% off. Check that in. Well, you know what else? Keeps us in Jaffa Cakes, although we get sent them. Thanks for watching. We'll see you later. Check out the link in the description.